Stop. Button. Speech off.
Yo, I am back. This is a series called Rants. Okay, so if I have a lisp, I wanted to address that first. If I have a lisp, it's because I got Invisalign, and I'm in like the first 2 weeks, and so yeah, I have a lisp. It might go away, who knows. Anyways, I started college. Well, my second semester of college. Now I tried to get my classes to be 2 days a week because my dad was like, oh, try to get your classes 2 days a week, just like your brother, and it's going to be easier for you. So I did that. Did I like the outcome? No. All my classes are in different buildings. So it's 3 classes. They're in different buildings. Buildings that I haven't been to on that campus. And just the schedule, no, it's not working. Next time I make the schedule, and I already told my parents this, I'm like, I'm not gonna do the 2 days out of the week. I'm not doing it. I did 3 days out of the week. I got my homework done. I passed my classes, and my dad makes it seem like, oh, I need, more. He's like, oh, you could use the extra day to do the homework. Dude, I got everything done. I passed my classes. So, and I even told him, he's like, he finally agreed. He's like, oh, it's fine, if you want to do 3 days, whatever works for you. Now, I had put off emailing my counselor until like the 28th-ish. I was gonna ask him for O&M training. Now, I ended up asking him for O&M training when I sent him the financial aid letter and the schedule. Here's some history about this dude. I do not want to throw shade at him, but I'm going to tell you what I know. He used to be an assistive technology instructor at the Center for the Blind in the area that I live in. He left. I think it was before the last semester that I was there. So spring 2024 was the semester he was no longer there. Before then, let's say like winter 2023, summer 2023, spring 2023, I heard stuff from some of the students like he was kind of a toddler, kind of came off as a jackass. One of the students actually told me and a few others at that table that, okay, so he would ask students to knock on his office door, and one time the student did what he said. He did not answer. I think she tried again. He did not answer. Now look, I get that he wants students to be responsible when it comes to bringing their computers, but dude, I thought they have computers there at the Center for the Blind. I don't know how many. I don't think it's that many, but the same student forgot her computer, right? He tells her, I can't teach you. Now, okay, understandable to an extent, because it's okay, maybe her computer's set up a certain way. But at the same time, it's couldn't you, the assistive technology instructor that I had would demonstrate something on one of the computers that was in that, in the room that we were in. It's how could he not, I don't know. I guess the Chad Brad guy worked a little differently. Well, when the program manager tells us in spring 2024 that this dude left, one of the students joked and said, oh, and he threw a tantrum. Luckily, it seemed like either the program manager blew it off or kind of dismissed what she said. Or maybe he thought it was funny and just wasn't going to show it. But I took that to heart. Even more so now that I found out that he's my counselor. At first, when Shailene sends me the email saying your counselor is going to be, let's make up a name here, Jarvis Artinson. Let's say his full name, Garvis Artinson. Let's say his full name is actually Garvis Artisan, right? She put Garvis Artinson. And I thought, okay, might be a different Garvis. Well, when I check with the team manager here in, for the office that's in the area that I live in, like specifically in that little part of SoCal, she says, oh no, his last name is Artisan. I'm just using that as an example because I don't want to reveal his real name and get sued. Because, mind you, this is a state vocational rehabilitation organization, so no, we are not going to get sued. Anyways, when she said that, I'm like, I'm looking back through my emails trying to find something that the vision rehab director had sent, CCing the 2 assistive technology instructors. It was about a technology webinar. My stupid ass deleted the email, so I couldn't remember how his last name was spelled. So I asked him, I'm like, weren't you an assistive technology instructor at the Center for the Blind? Because your name sounds familiar. I think I wrote something like that in the email. And he says yes. And I am thinking, shit. I think this dude might have thought that I was one of his students. Let him keep thinking that. He doesn't need to know specifically how I know about him. I was at the Center for the Blind in winter of 2022, and he seemed okay. There were no complaints about him then, unless there were starting to be complaints and maybe just nobody was saying. I don't know. He seemed okay. And then he actually did a resource information class about the blind shell phone. For those of you that don't know, I will go into more explanation. I'll find links for it and I'll put it in my community post. But okay, fast forward to him as a counselor. He authorizes O&M training for fall 2024. We're in spring 2025. So when I email him and I tell him, oh, can you please authorize for O&M training, I was thinking of adding in the email, there are different buildings now, buildings I hadn't been in. And I'm like, you know what? No. If he wants some more info, he is going to call or email or both. He calls me. Now I take a while to respond because I'm thinking, holy shit, what's going to happen? Some of my fears were confirmed, not to the extent that I thought they were going to be, but he goes, didn't we pay for O&M training last semester? And I'm like, well, yeah. And I'm like, but here's the thing. Well, 2 of my classes were on the main campus, 1 was on the San Isidro campus. We used that time to practice both classes and to find easy routes. And I told him, now these classes are all on the main campus, all of them in different buildings that I haven't been in. And he's like, okay, where are you at mobility-wise? And he's like, you need to, the goal is to get you to, even plan your own routes. Which I would like to get to that point. He asks me, where I'm at, right? Honestly, I don't even know if I could plan my own routes. So he goes, well, once we kind of, talk about where I'm at as far as mobility, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to authorize O&M, and then, extra O&M training for, learning how to plan your own routes. I haven't gotten the email yet saying it's authorized. I get the DOR forget I said DOR, okay? For those of you that are my friends that are subscribed, don't get weirded out or anything. But for anyone from my past who comes across this, forget I said DOR, none of your damn business. But for those of you that are my friends, you're good. And for those of you that have known me somewhere between 2019 and, 2018, 2020, you're good. All the way up to 2024, 2025, you're good. And if, but it's just people from the past that come across this. I really need you guys to bleep out some things in your head. You have to if you're from my past. Anyways. I get that voc rehab takes a little while to, authorize stuff. Now, dude, next semester, I'm going to make sure not all my classes are on the main campus. I'm going to try to do San Ysidro. San Ysidro campus, it's a small building. It's easy to get around. Right now, the main campus has got quite a bit of construction going on. My dad and my brother, when they were looking up where exactly my classes were, they saw a good bit of the campus looked like it was torn up, I guess from construction. I'm not going to deal with that again. And then there are parts when we walk to when I walk to my classes, because my mom's been helping me out, there are quite a few places with truncated domes, which is like, I guess there are a couple like roads or street crossings on campus. I did start making markers for 2 of my classes in the Voice of Vista app, so that's helped. But yeah, look, this is no shade on my counselor. It's just knowing his history at the Center for the Blind. It's like, dude, I'm gonna try installing the JAWS update, because there's a 2025 update. If I can't install it, I think he's gonna have to get a software maintenance agreement thing. I don't know if mine is expired or whatever the word is. This is gonna be the next thing. If I need that and he is gonna be, if he decides to pitch a tantrum, then what those students said has quite a bit of validity here. But it's like, and I talked to the mobility instructor, and because I told him, I'm like, okay, so let me go back. I talked to the mobility instructor that helped me with like routes and stuff for my fall 2024 classes, and she tells me, she's like, next semester we'll plan your routes for your classes, because it's different classes, different buildings, and so I had that in mind when I was talking to my counselor, but I didn't tell him it was a mobility instructor who told me that. I told him it was a friend who told me that, who also goes to college, because I'm like, I'm not going to throw this mobility instructor under the bus in case he decides to pitch a tantrum, because this is his former coworker. No. No, I'm just gonna say it was a friend. No name, just a friend. Because I told him, I'm like, oh, wasn't I supposed to have, like, mobility training, like, each semester since it's different classes? He's like, who gave you this information? And I'm like, a friend. And I actually did talk to, my chubby cheek twin, I think I talked to you about this, and you were like, yeah, it's different buildings. I think you did get where I was coming from as far as, like, mobility training, so, it's not too far from the truth. But, dude, honestly, I think I have 1 or 2 more semesters here, and then I'm going up to Hatland. Independent living program is like an apartment program. And then college finishing college, going to a 4-year university up there in the Bay Area, which means I'm a transfer counselor. And since this counselor is so by the book, hopefully he follows through on transferring my case, because honestly, at this point, it's logical, yeah, because the counselor's up there, the resources that are up in the Bay Area, but honestly, I'm looking forward to transferring counselors. And look, he's been good about, like, authorizing. It's just, like, right now where I feel like I kind of hit a little bit of a, how the hell am I supposed to tell him? The guy who is known to pitch tantrums or come off as a jackass. Which, okay, at some point I guess he did sense my hesitation with stuff. I don't know, Bonnie must have trained... Oh, okay, Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde, okay? Shailene must have trained him well. I don't know. Sorry, it's because I'm trying so hard not to reveal anyone's names here, and then I'm trying to stick with the nicknames or the things that I come up with, to keep people's names, like people's real names out of this, because again, I don't want to get sued, and I also don't want somebody finding this and being like, you're trashing us. I'm not trying to. Okay. Now, the thing that I want to talk about as well, look, I really don't want to sound like I'm complaining, especially right now with the wildfires that happen in Los Angeles. I don't want to seem like I'm saying SoCal's one big giant piece of shit or anything. I am grateful for the people that I've met who have not been jackasses, and I am grateful for those people. And ever since I found out what happened to my friend, it's like, I really don't want to seem like an ass, because I know that it could have been any one of us that could have gone through that, especially with the fires that were popping up here in San Diego, like in this area. It was a Border 2 fire. It was a few other like fires. I think one in Fashion Valley, and then like a few. Oh shit! I fucking lost track. All I know is I try to maintain a positive attitude, and I try not to say too many things, because I know that any of us could have had it worse. Any of us could have lost everything, and I really don't want to seem like I'm complaining, but when I look back at the past, it's like, in reality, I don't have too many friends from the past. I've cut off quite a few people when I graduated, because I felt like, when I graduated high school, because I felt like I had to fit a certain mold or compete for approval at times. I think the last year, senior year, was when people were a bit, like, nicer. And I think at times I might have forced it out of them. And then you have, I don't know, I feel like when I didn't fit a certain mold, people either pretended to be nice to me. I did hear that some people talked shit about me. I'm not sure. All I know is I've come to the conclusion that I'm glad to wear a label that says not like the others. I'm glad that I've met people that have accepted me. The sighted world can sometimes give you things in a way that it helps you, and other times the sighted world can chew you up and spit you out, just like support staff for people with disabilities, just like the disabled world. It can chew you up and spit you out, but it can also give you good things. And I think that's something that I kind of came to the realization of. But looking at me next to the people that I knew from elementary the people that I graduated from the same district with, some people that graduated before me next to them, I know I'm different. I'm blind just like them, but I'm different, and I think I'm just glad to wear...
Speech on. Stop. Button. Speech off.
I am glad to wear that label, because I know that there are people outside of that particular space that have actually given a shit about me, blind and sighted, and I think that's, like, something that I've thought about, and it's like, okay, that's gonna help me now, is, like, to an extent. But then knowing, for example, that one of my professors that I have, he said he had one student whose name sounded familiar, but he's like, I've had other visually impaired students. I don't know if he and maybe others like him might expect me to fit a certain mold or a certain, like, way of being. And I really hope that's not the case. And I think, I don't know, like, I could do the assignments, I could pass the quizzes, I could study and everything, but I don't want to have that, like, ugly ass surprise of, you're not like the other visually impaired kids I've had, or students I've had. I don't want that. And it was something I was thinking about, and it was getting to me, and it's my first week, and, hearing about, this one professor, like, I've had other visually impaired students. It's an advantage, but it's also a disadvantage. Because you don't know what they're going to expect, and you don't know if they've already made some kind of stereotype or made some kind of mold for you to fit in. You don't know if they're like that. And I never addressed this with him. But I'm perfectly fine with putting this out there, because I'm not going to stay quiet about things like this anymore. I'm not. Because fuck it. To some of you from the past that never really got me, that wanted to compare me to other students, I hate you. I hate you, I hate you, I fucking hate you. And I want you to know that I hate you with every fiber of my being. I hate you with a passion. I really do. And if you see this, I want this to burn your heart to a fucking crisp. I really do. I've gotten better, but there are times where things just can get to be a bit too much. So to the people from the past that never really got me, I hate you. And I want you to know that. And I want it to stick with you. You don't have to remember me. You don't have to have me consume your thoughts, but I want to tell you that if I ever see you out in public, or if my family ever sees you out in public, or if you see me out in public, don't go up to me. I will not say hi to you. I hate you. You do not even deserve a hug from me. Don't even try. I don't live in some of the areas that you do, okay? But I want you to, if you think about me for a few seconds, remember, this girl hates me. And I want you to remember that, so that if you see me out in public, you do not go up to me. For those of you that really cared and that really showed your kindness, and for those of you, from middle school, like all the people that I've had like good memories with, I welcome you. Like, you can go up to me and talk to me. Hell, even my 8th grade English teacher, who I started to miss for whatever reason, might email her for Teacher Appreciation Week. I'm not too sure yet. Now, the ones that cared, yeah. Some of you that were kind to me in the end, I would, like, to make up for the times that you misunderstood me by rubbing it in your face that I'm trying to accomplish things while you're almost done living, while at the same time trying to acknowledge the things where you did actually go right and you didn't try to, like, fucking destroy me. But yeah, to those of you of the past, I fucking hate you. So much. With every fiber of my being, with a fucking passion. And it burns. Some days. There are days where, I mean, you know, it's just, there are days where I think about some of you, and for whatever reason somebody mentions your name, and I think, I hate this person. I would never hurt you, though. I would never stalk you. I would never end you. I would never do any of that. But I do hate you. And just remember that. Some of you, you know who you are. Okay? You know who you are. I don't have to say names, and I'm not going to say names. Because I'm not going to go that low. I could change your name for privacy. But, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to be putting a link to... Well, okay, on a lighter note, I'm going to put a link to a Girl Scout cookie sale. One of my friends from OCB, from the voc rehab program that I went to, his daughters are selling Girl Scout cookies. I checked. She's currently got 154 more packages to go. The shipping thing is a little tricky. You have to buy at least 4 packages in order for in order for you to get those cookies shipped. What I would suggest you do when you're about to place your order is hit the recalculate button, and it will update your shipping cost. So for me, it came out to like $12, because I did order 4 boxes of cookies. I was originally going to order like 3, but it told me I had to order 4. And I was like, you know what, screw it. It's almost my birthday. So I'm going to spoil myself. I am going to put the link to the Girl Scout cookie sale. Leave some for my other voc rehab program friends, some of my other OCB friends who haven't bought any cookies yet and want to. Leave some for them. But yeah, I am going to put the link below. So this is just like an in general thing.
Speech on.
Anyways,
Duration 28 minutes, 30 seconds.
I think that was it. Boy.
Stop button.